Hey guys, today's video is something I just really want to talk about again. I already mentioned this in the past and I made a video about it, but I just want to do it again and maybe just talk a bit more in depth about it. So the gist of this video is, when should you be breaking this and this goal? Because it doesn't make sense for half the games, or like most of the games that I see being played, is how this is being handled. People just do not care what happens to this goal. As long as they break it, they think, oh my god, we broke their goal, which means we have a big advantage. They think it's like League of Legends, where you get a turret, everyone gets AoE, XP, gold, which is just not the case. No one gets gold. One guy gets a bit of experience, but in the end, you lose a lot of experience. So let me just explain what happens when you break this goal, right? When you break this goal, all these chems despawn and spawn on their side of the map. Well, not all of these, but most of them. So this one is gone, this one goes, as soon as this goal is gone, right? And this Audino spawns, and this thing spawns. Which means you just lost your entire side of camps to just give them safe farm. Like, this is on their side of the map, in a very safe position, which enemies can just use to farm, while you have nothing left on this side of the map. The only thing you have is this. You don't get this unless they break your goal. So suddenly you have a huge swing of experience if you break the goal too early. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't give you an advantage. Of course, you'd be like, okay, now we have Dreadnought positioning. But honestly, early game, you don't need to break this to have Dreadnought positioning. This is more important when people have late game ultimates and you know you can chase people down. Early game, this doesn't really matter for the Dreadnought fight. It really has no impact on it. So the only thing you do is you handicap yourself in experience for the rest of the game if you break this too early. And I have so many games where people, it's like 7 minutes and 20, and there's nothing to do for like the next 3 minutes after we break this goal. There's a few scenarios where it makes sense, and I will just go over everything that, you know, thinking is what I think should be the optimal way of playing this and how you should play around the goal. So why shouldn't you break the goal? Very simple. If you're winning your lane hard, right, you can farm all of these. You get every single minute, you get 5 of these. And it's might sound crazy, you literally get 5 of these if you're winning your lane. And even if your lane is even, it's even worse to break it, because then you don't have any farm either. So if you're winning the lane, why would you break the goal? You get so much free experience, you will be 2-3 levels up for the next Dreadnought fight, and you can starve them and zone them from so much experience, because they will never get these now, right? They will never get these, since you don't break the goal. What is the optimal way of playing this then? Put this goal to like between, I don't know, 1 to 10 HP, right? You can obviously score, just drop it low under 10 HP, and then later on you can just have a huge goal as well. I think people don't understand that you can overcap turrets by crazy amount. This is not 80 points, right? This can be, I don't know, 120 points, easily. Easily. And it's so much experience you're also losing, and so many points you're losing for late game that can just make a difference. If there's no Articuno dying, those 30, 40 points you overcapped can be a huge difference on you winning the game, right? Let's also say you're even. If you're even in the lane and you destroy the goal just because you got like a gank, but the game is very even, then suddenly nothing is there and the enemies just can farm. And you're not gonna invade these, right? It just depends obviously on which character you play, which I'll also come into. But if you play someone like Ninetales, Pikachu, that has to farm experience on their side, you can't walk there. You can't just overextend to the enemy side of the map for no reason. On top lane, it's even worse. If you break top lane go, they actually get 3 Audinos. On bot lane, it's only 2. This map is a bit outdated. Like, these 2 don't spawn. On bot, only 2 Audinos spawn. On top 3 or Ice Cube spawn, right? So if the game is even and you play something that needs to farm, that needs experience, you're just handicapping yourself. And I see so many like people that play lane Cinder Ace or lane Gardevoir breaking these goals and ending up with no experience for the rest of the game. And it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And so when should you be breaking the goal? So let's talk about scenarios here when you should break it. Are you a Lucario are you like a Lucario Tsareena that likes to split push and you're confident split pushing? You can maybe start breaking it, right? You can go early and just keep abusing this and just farm and score into this goal, right? But it's only if you play a split push character that actually is, you know, you're confident that you can overextend. If you play something like a Ninetales again or a tank, it just makes no sense. You don't want to be here. You just straight up don't want to be here. This is like the best way of losing the games, because you're overextending into their second goals, the enemies can be very fast there, outnumber you, and just get comeback experience. So what I like doing is, for the first objectives, never break this. I think the best time of the game where you can break the goal is let's say, when the second time the Dreadnought spawns and the second Rotom spawns. Because then the second Rotom you can make a push into here, right? I think the first Rotom also, like, breaking this for the first Rotom is just not worth it. It's really not. You're just giving your opponents crazy amount of free experience. The only time where it's fine if the enemies also broke your goal, then you're like, okay, I guess we can exchange. They broke our goal, we can break their goal, right? Both of us get experience. Sure, why not? But even then, you could just farm all of this and deny your opponents everything. Like, they don't get this and you get all of this, right? And then just breaking it before the second objective spawns. So everyone has their Unite moves up, Dreadnought spawning for the second time. If you break it 20-15 seconds before this spawns, it's perfect. Now you can actually easily teamfight into them as well, and after you win a teamfight, you can maybe still go into this, because it might not be, yeah, you know, if you win a teamfight snowball, you can run there, maybe make a group effort to score. But before that, it just doesn't make any sense. You're just losing so much experience. There's so many games where when my team actually doesn't break this, I get so much free farm. And especially if you play someone that has good last setting, like Mr. Mime, Ninetales, or like long range abilities like Pikachu to steal them and secure them, Snorlax, you will get all of these, especially if you're ahead. And if you're behind, the best thing that can happen is losing the goal. Sometimes I literally just sacrifice my goal so that these things spawn and I can come back into the game. Otherwise, I just don't get back into the game. If they don't do it, because I can never contest this if I'm behind, right? So, breaking the goal before the second objective is very good, because then, again, you can actually pressure something. Besides that, I would really, it's something I'm very, very, very confused about. I think people just don't really understand that breaking the goal just doesn't do anything. And of course, they lose their flux zone and stuff. But if you're a strong lane bully, just take the free farm. Just take the free experience, farm back up to 40 coins, and then slowly break it before the spawns. I think that's the best way of playing it. Also, I think it's okay sometimes breaking one goal again. Let's say you have a Tsareena breaking one goal and pressures here, but don't kill this. If you kill both goals at the same time early into the game, you are just screwing yourself for late game. Because the enemies can now actually get back to levels and can be the same level on the Zapdos fight, and suddenly, or at the Kuno fight, and suddenly all you did was kind of neglected just because you didn't really do much. And in solo queue, it's very hard to make your team invade these, right? So if your team actually breaks these, you should have to go for these and look for scores into this, right? You have to be aggressive after doing this, because there's nothing to farm on your side of the map. You don't get this, you don't get this, you don't get this. The only thing you have is this and your buffs and these things. These are the only things you have to farm if you broke their goal. Also, this spawn, you know, gets after 1 minute after goal is down, these things also move as well. So it's not just these camps, the bears or the bees also move towards here, right? If this is broken, they will spawn here, which will be harder to contest even as well. So in the end, you're just moving all your camps to the enemy and they can safely farm it. They can just, this is very easy to farm, right? Especially like these spec out dinos here. That is so much farm for a carry. And this is the way I always get back into the game. Like, when I see the enemy team breaking the goal, I'm so happy. I'm just like, wow, I get level 40 now without even having any issues about it. Of course, you have to watch out. There's people that like to split push a lot and go for these. You just have to be ready for these as well if the enemies break the goal. So, TLDR, when do you break the goal? Before the second objective spawns? That's very good timing. Are you a confident, strong split pusher? You can maybe do something as well. Are you a Greedent, Tsareena, Lucario, maybe a Crustle, a Garchomp, you know, something that wants to be on their side of the map and just farm and hopefully snowball games? Then you feel free to break it, but again, try not to break both goals as well. If you have a split pusher, try to only break one goal, and then slowly break the second goal when you all have a lot of points again, and then look for a push into the second goal. That's normally how I would play it. But hey guys, if you have any more questions, and I kind of want to know if you guys agree with this take or not, if you think this is something people should be playing around more, or not. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!